Welcome back here to Versus Live, brought to you by StarCityGames.com. I'm Ross Merriam,
I'm Todd Anderson.
and we are deep into our Ravnica Allegiance testing. If you weren't here for Tuesday's show, what we were doing was Todd brought the deck that he's most likely to play this weekend in Indianapolis. It was, spoiler alert, Teamer Reclamation.
Weird.
Who could have guessed?
Yeah, not me.
I brought 3 decks that I thought would be representative of the metagame in Indianapolis. We put the deck through its paces. It showed pretty well. Today is my turn to do that. I'm bringing Sultai Midrange, which is a little off-brand, actually, but the deck's really powerful.
Well, I mean, I've seen you play mid-range decks a time or two. They're not usually this kind of mopey where they play a bunch of removal spells. You're usually trying to do something pretty hardcore as far as, like, mid-range is concerned. And, I mean, Hydroid Crassus kind of fits that bill.
Yes, it's just such a powerful card. This is essentially Golgari mid-range from last season, splashing mainly for Hydroid Crisis. We've got a couple Funos in the main deck that I'm trying out with Adonis Climb and Hostage Taker. And we've got some counter spells in the sideboard, which are great against control decks and against Wilderness Reclamation decks.
Yep.
So I really like the blue splash in this deck. Had just a great match against Status Red in the first match. If you didn't catch that one, you can watch the VOD or the replay later today at 6 p.m. right here, or you can watch it on YouTube on Monday. That's when they go up. So be sure to catch that one. It was a great match, a tough 3-game set, and now we got another matchup against a more aggressive style of deck.
Yeah, so this is kind of like a more classic take on the Aristocrats. And when I say the Aristocrats, a lot of people who've been playing for 5+ years get this evoked sense of feeling of a deck that plays a 2-mana creature that lets you sacrifice your entire battlefield if you want, and it gives you some big effect. We saw Cartel Aristocrat was the original card that allowed you to do that alongside Falconwrath Aristocrat. Oddly enough, 2 cards named Aristocrat that could both sacrifice things. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Nowadays, though, we don't have effects quite as powerful. Instead of Cartel Aristocrat, we have Pitiless Pontiff, which is quite good. Giving it Indestructible and Death Touch is a pretty big deal, but it does cost 1 mana to do the ability.
1 mana is a big deal. So it's a downgrade, but it's still a fine card. But you have a more powerful sacrifice outlet in Priest of Forgotten Gods.
Yeah, so Priest of Forgotten Gods is this newer card that allows you to kind of do these explosive turns where you tap it, sack 2 other creatures, you make your opponent sacrifice a creature, you get it to draw a card, they lose 2 life, and you get 2 black mana. So if you get to untap with a Priest of Forgotten Gods, chances are you're going to go off. And as long as your creatures don't have, like, their bodies aren't entirely relevant to the state of the battlefield, you're getting a huge boost, as well as getting these sacrifice effects.
Afterlife creatures, get some tokens back. You have Hero of Precinct 1, right?
Yes.
List? Yes. So that's a card that I think was overlooked early, but is a really good way to generate extra bodies that you can feed to your sacrifice cards. Also goes really well with Judith. There's a lot of multicolored cards you can fit in the deck. So that's become sort of the core of these Aristocrats decks, but it's the interesting part for me is I've seen a lot of variance in what 1-drops they play. I've seen Footlight Fiend, I've seen Gutter Bones, I've seen more aggressive versions with just the white 1-drops like Dauntless Bodyguard. I've seen
Hunted Witnesses.
Hunted Witness, pretty common.
Yeah.
And I've seen Fanatical Firebrand, which can sacrifice by itself, plays nicely with Judith. And your choice there really affects how you have to build the mana of the deck. So it's really important which 1-drops you want to play. Which ones do you have?
So Footlight Fiend is 100% in the deck.
We got a reader.
Honestly, I've been thinking about a bunch of different decks lately, and this has not been one of them. Gutter Bones is the other 1-drop, but it plays Footlight Fiend, Gutter Bones as your black base early on.
So you want early black sources. That's good. I like focus on one color there with your early creatures. That makes your mana better. I also like how Gutter Bones plays so nicely with Priest. Sometimes you don't have a good sync for that mana you get, and you can sacrifice the Gutter Bones. You turn on Spectacle with the 2 life they lose, and then just use the 2 black to bring it right back.
Yeah, I mean, if you have 2 Gutter Bones on the battlefield, you literally just tap your Priest of Forgotten Gods, deal 2 to them, get 1 of them back, and then spend 1 mana to recast it. With 2 land, or no, it's 4, 6.
You need 4. If you have 4 mana,
yeah, 4 mana, you just get to do it every turn and draw a card.
Yeah, tap, draw a card, they sack a creature.
Yeah, it's a really powerful effect, and Gutter Bones goes well in the strategy. Initial versions we were playing of this deck, we were relying on goblins like Skirk Prospector to generate that free sacrifice outlet, but the creatures overall I think were just a tad bit worse. Your Wily Goblins, your Goblin Instigator, even though they are synergistic with the strat, they just by themselves, they didn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah, I think the key for unlocking these decks' potential is making Judith a good aggressive card too, and Gutter Bones lets you do that. It's a hard card to block effectively. Really good with Judith getting the +1 and +0 because they don't want to block it. And now when it dies, you can get it back and get the ping effects. So I like that set of 1-drops for this deck. I like focusing on being a little bit aggressive, getting some reach with Judith, and then having the other sacrifice energies to go for the top when necessary.
All right, let's hit some questions before we get started in game 1 of this match.
All right. We have one from 187 Annihilation. What are your thoughts on the Gates decks that are popping up?
Well, I've only seen one. Well, that's not true. I've seen multiple. Brian Gottlieb doesn't count. He's a mad scientist. His decks
doesn't count.
His decks are weird. I mean, he does count, right? His ideas are really good, but the structure of his builds are always just like slightly off, where the deck feels like it should function, but it sometimes just doesn't. Does that make sense? But the ideas are always really sweet, you know? Like he had the Reclamation, Nexus of Fate, Emergency Powers gate deck, right? And like Emergency Powers is a pretty dangerous card to play with. But if you ever hit Wilderness Reclamation into Nexus of Fate, it's busted. Yeah, but out of those 7 cards, you need to hit exactly Wilderness Reclamation and Nexus of Fate, or you're gonna lose. Like, and I mean, the rest of his deck's really cool though. You know, the Gates Ablaze, I think, is the key card in the deck, giving you a way to check creatures.
Gates Ablaze on the blue card, whose name is escaping me.
Yeah, Guild Summit's really good. Like, the core of the deck is very good. The bad part of all those decks is the gates. They all enter the battlefield tapped. You're probably going to get run over by an aggressive deck.
The question you have to ask yourself is, are those 2 cards, Gates Ablaze and Guild Summit, powerful enough relative to other options in the format that you're willing to put 12 to 14 gates in your deck, which is about the number I usually see?
I mean, Circuitous Route helps a lot, but...
And man, they have to be really powerful for me to want to put that many gates in my deck. I don't like putting 1 gate in my constructed decks.
Friends don't let friends play gates, as you said on Tuesday.
Yeah. So I've been impressed by how powerful those cards are when they work, but the bar is really high.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's basically just Circuitous Route and Gates Ablaze and Guild Summit. And if you like have your engine going, all 3 of those cards are insanely good. But if you stumble at all, which your deck is prone to do because of the gates, like there's a good chance you just lose to any aggressive strategy.
Yeah. How often do you win when you have to go gate to start the game?
Oh, you lose every game.
I
mean, the thing is, like, you can't really play like Glacial Fortress in that deck, right? Like your gates are basically replacing those, and the rest of your lands are all shock lands. So all of your lands deal you damage or come into play tapped, and that's not good. But the rest of the cards are great. Like the synergies are all really cool. Circuitous Route is the card that brings the deck together. The new payoff cards, there's the Angel that gains 2 for every gate. That one's a huge boost, I think.
Archway Angel.
Archway Angel. We also the Colossus I'm not huge on, but the 3-drop 2/2, that one I think is pretty
Gatebreaker Ram. Yeah.
Because it gets trampled too,
and
right?
Of course, Crassus. They've been playing that.
Yeah. Some play Crassus too. Yeah, it is good. I've seen some play Expansion Explosion. So there's one 5/0 that came out today that I looked at briefly.
Brian's new list is much closer to that he posted about, I believe, was yesterday or today.
Sure.
I think it was
He probably talked about it on the game podcast, and guy was like, I'll just try all this stuff. Anyway, I think there is potential for it. They obviously pushed some of the guild synergy cards. The problem is guild gates, and it's not like people play Coastal Tower in their deck, you know?
Yeah.
No one's played Coastal Tower.
Nobody likes putting Highland Lake in their deck.
I did put Cinder Barons in my deck last.
Yeah. And I think we played a Highland Lake in the Pyromancer's Goggles deck a few years ago.
Well, I didn't. Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah,
I played
there was one or two. Occasionally, you have to resort to things like that. Yeah. You literally just played a deck with 2.
I just said that.
Yeah, 2 Cinder Barons. So it's occasionally, but 12. That's just ugly.
Okay. Anywho,
let's take one more.
Fine.
One more.
I want to play. My hand's
one for you,
great.
Ross, based on your last game. Was there any thought to Growth Chamber Guardian in the Sultai deck, or is there just not enough room for it?
I think one of the key discoveries I've made in testing with a lot of the green midrange decks is that Growth Chamber Guardian is overrated in them. In the midrange mirrors, making a bunch of 4/4s actually isn't that good. Like Hydroid Crisis and all these other things go over the top of that. It's not about pure grinding card advantage. It's about grinding card advantage to the point where you can make a lot of land drops and do something really powerful. So the 4/4s aren't great. The 2/2 body that initially comes down is just weak to the aggressive decks, dies to shock and all that stuff. So it's not a great blocker.
So
it's good against control decks, but that's about it.
I want to chime in a little bit here. I think that card is fine, but
It's still a good card.
I think it's insanely overrated. The reason why I liked it so much at the beginning was because paired with Rhythm of the Wild, it becomes Squadron Hawk that makes 3/3s instead of 1/1 flyers, and that alone caught my attention. I haven't actually seen someone activate it. Like I haven't seen someone pay 3 mana yet to activate it.
I've seen that plenty of times.
Sure. Is it even good?
It's
Does
fine.
that even?
There are some games when it's good, like when
sure.
you're both decreased on resources. It's a good draw off the top. It has a pretty high baseline,
Sure.
which makes it a fine inclusion. But its weaknesses relative to the other options, like the Explore package, is just so powerful at letting you hit your land drops. Wildgrowth Walker is so important against the red aggressive decks, and then Incubation Druid has been incredibly impressive, better than Growth Chamber Guardian. And there's just no room for it. It's sort of like the odd man out in that case, but it's quite good against control decks because it lets you hold up mana and gain card advantage against them. And I think it's good out of aggressive decks, or somewhat more aggressive decks, because it lets them have a little bit more staying power. But in the pure mid-range decks, I don't think it's as good, unless you have like ways to take advantage of it. The Selesnya-based decks have like a Johnny
Answer
and,
the question
and
about
Loxodon.
Should it be in your deck? Because
That's why it's on my deck.
Right.
Because I'm the pure mid-range deck.
Right.
Like I have enough card advantage, and I'm looking to go over the top. And other than that, I want my early creatures to help me at land drops or stave off aggression. And
Walker is way better.
Yeah, Walker does that perfectly. Branch Walker, it's land drops, and Incubation Druid makes mana itself.
All right.
Todd really wants to play Magic.
I do. My hand is pretty sweet, and I'm really curious what my top 2 cards are.
You lost match 1, so you get to be on the play.
Yeah, my hand is keepable.
My hand is also pretty good.
All right. Let's lead off Godless Shrine into Gutter Bones. We're gonna see what
18.
this bad boy can do.
I will lead on a Memorial.
Also, I believe that enters tapped.
Yes, Gutter Bones does enter the battlefield.
You got me. You got me. All right, hit you.
I'll go to 18.
Warning for Todd now.
Yeah.
If that is a warning, boy, I'm gonna
Director Rob warning.
Caution,
sure.
please. Priest of Forgotten Gods. Better kill that one, or never play a creature. Your choice. Listen, this is how powerful this card is. Ross just can't play a creature next turn because I have Gutter Bones, Priest of Forgotten Ways. I think you should play a creature.
Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely playing a creature. The question now is just which one.
Well, probably the Explore one.
I'll go to 16, and I'll play a Branch Walker. I think you're right that I want to play the Explore.
Because this dying.
I don't think I have time for this, and I have time. Like, I don't want it now, and I have time to find another. Is what I meant to say.
All right, so you're at 16 from the shock.
Yes, I'm at 16.
All right, now we get to see some really cool Priest of Forgotten Gods stuff. All right, so
taking 2, so 16 all.
Let's go Gutter Bones 2. Sacrifice both of these. You lose 2 life. You're at 14.
I'll
gain 2. Hold on. We have one of these. We're gonna use it. I have 2 black mana. I'll draw a card.
Yep.
All right. I will use it to bring back Gutter Bones.
Yep.
And then I'll bring back Gutter Bones. You better kill this. It's getting bad.
That's the turn.
There it is.
Not playing another creature into that.
Attack for 1,
13.
and then we'll play 3 1-drops. Your turn.
That one.
Fine.
Go.
Right. Priest of Forgotten Gods down. I will.
Oof. All right. 13.
Shock.
14.
Wait, you're at 13? Oh, yeah, because I hit you for 1.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm at 14. I'm going to play a Linda the Dusk Rose.
We got a reader.
It's a 2/4 lifelink. Whenever
another creature dies,
it gets a counter. And when it dies, I get a 1/1 with lifelink for her power. Attack. I think Olinda the Dust Rose is a card a lot of people, including me, forgot about. It got a little overshadowed when they previewed Teysa. But Olinda just fits this deck way better. Like, he just can't block. He's at 8. And if he ever kills this with a traditional removal spell, I just get 2 things. But if, you know. Clown you.
Attack for 2.
Oh, it's a 1/1. I thought it was a 2/4.
Yeah, no, it's a 1/1.
No, I'm stupid. Yeah. Sure.
12.
12. What's up?
Wild Growth Walker, Merfolk Branch Walker, go to 11, get an Evergreen Tomb, play it tapped.
Okay. I will. Wow, you are in trouble. Judith. Zach.
This is an attack for 6.
No, it's way more.
Oh, sorry, 10. Judith is a card.
You're at 11, right?
I'm at 11.
Wait, hold on. Before blocks, I'm gonna do this. 1/1. Put a +1/+1 counter here. You're at 10. You may block now. Sorry, I forgot I could do that. And then you had one less blocker. All right, you take 8, and then Judith. This will die. You take.
You can kill the Walker.
No, I can't. This only has 1.
It's a 3-power creature.
Oh, it is 3 power creature. Yeah, I'll kill the Walker. You take 3, 6, 8. You're at 2. So I'll kill the Walker, and I'll get 3 1/1 vampires, which.
And I had this set up to I had the finality, but I can't beat the Judith.
Wow, rough for you.
I'm very dead. That was.
Woo! Woo!
I have not seen one of these decks do that before.
Right.
They're like casting 100 witnesses against me and not doing anything. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, Gutterbones changes the clock.
Yeah. See, like that aggressive aspect of the deck is super important.
Yeah, I mean Gutterbones by itself did 2 damage to start.
Did a million. The
Two of them-
Alendra was also really big because I was setting up for a finality, and so I couldn't really trade aggressively to protect my life total because then the Alendra is going to leave back too much.
Right.
And then the Judith was literally all combined perfectly. The Gutterbones applied pressure and worked well with the Priest. The Priest kept me off balance. The Alendra made it difficult for me to protect my life total, and then the Judith finished me off. Then I get to survive at 2. Yep, go. We are here for sideboarding with whatever I'm playing, Sultai Crisis.
Sultai Midrange.
But before we get into sideboard, I just want to point out you heard Ross kind of mumbling after just a second ago while we were trying to figure out things. He was trying to figure out how to survive. That's what I deal with all the time. I'm literally like, Ross, stop. We're about to go. Stop. It just bleeds into reality.
I trail off a lot.
All right, so this is your sideboard. This is what you're doing and why.
Yeah, so I think the cards I'm bringing in are pretty obvious. We want the cheap removal to stave off the aggressive package. Cry is incredibly good against this deck because of the exile clause. It'll cleanly answer Judith and Footlife Fiends and even maybe Alendra without any of the triggers happening when they die. Moment of Cravings is a good early removal spell. You saw what happens when Priest goes unanswered. I think if I get to kill that on turn 2, the game is a lot different. So we have some extra answers there.
Also, this version is particularly weak to the -2/-2 effects because we are playing Hero Precinct 1 as a big token generator to work alongside our Priest of Forgotten Gods.
Yeah. And then Contempt, again, answers cards with dice triggers very easily as a little extra source of life gain. So we've got a bunch more removal we're bringing in our deck. We're cutting some of the weaker singletons. Adonis Climb and Rex Sage don't do a lot here. We're really trying to take a controlling role. Carnage Tyrant, I think, is weak when I know this deck is going to have a lot of Edict effects. Like, they not only have Priest Main, they probably have Playcrafter somewhere in their 75. I'm trading off my creatures aggressively, so it's hard to protect.
Right.
And if Todd goes wide, like one blocker is probably not even a good defense. So the Carnage Tyrant can get cut as an expensive card. And then Vivian. Not a lot of targets for Vivian. It is a source of card advantage when I'm bringing in a lot of removal, so I have to be cognizant of that with how I play. I can't be as aggressive with playing my Crises early because I need them later to draw extra cards, because otherwise I might just peter out and lose because I have more lands, and Todd just sits there on 4 while I draw 7, 8 lands and lose to the virtual card advantage there. So while it's a card I think you should bring out, it's one that you have to bring out with keeping that in mind.
All right. Want to point out, Cry of the Carnarium, insanely good against my deck. Just one of the best sideboard cards you can have. We saw something very similar during Battle for Zendikar block. It was the colorless one. Yeah, Flaying Tendrils was a really big sideboard card in that one, and I think that this one is effectively the same thing, except it also has the ability to exile things that have died before you cast it, which is a little strange. Obviously, I think it's maybe a little overproduced as far as like the effect is concerned, but there are some like weird graveyard synergies that it takes care of. But mostly, it's there to eliminate token strategies as well as afterlife. And even though my deck doesn't have a ton of stuff with afterlife, I think really the only thing I have that has essentially afterlife is Alinda the Dust Rose, but it's not really the same thing. We are instead relying on just like natural token generators as opposed to things that die and generate tokens.
Imperious, Oligarch, and Hundred Witness and things like
Right.
that. I just want to point out, did Rob correctly anticipate our weird old card reference this time?
Like I was going to ask you last game, what card should I be looking to bring up? I wasn't sure.
I mean, you never know. Well, we could bring up anything. We could bring up Floral Spasm.
Okay. I'm not even going to try on that one.
Wow, you're a monster. Anyway, Angarth really good against Wild Growth Walker and Hydroid Crisis. Theater Horror is just something to help me like go longer in the game. If Ross hits me with a Carnarium or Finality, I want some way to regenerate some of that lost card advantage. We're going to bring out Carnival Carnage because we know Ross doesn't have that many 1 toughness creatures. I have to basically snag an Explore creature with a trigger on the stack, and that's about it. Other than that, I don't think Carnage is very good because those Explore creatures usually leave him with a couple extra lands in hand. And on turn 4, I think I need to be doing something that deploys to the battlefield as opposed to hitting the hand.
Agreed.
We have a lot of cards that we could side in though, like Drill Bit, Lava Coil, Playcrafter, Midnight Reaper. These are all cards that I would be fine bringing in at some point, but for the most part, I just want to keep my creature count very high, and that means not siding out a lot of stuff for those cards.
I do want to say that Floral Spasm is always a card that comes to my mind because when I was a kid playing FNMs at my local store, and they printed Riptide Replicator in Onslaught, there was a guy at the store that always made Spasm tokens with it.
Oh. Well,
all right, just for you, Ross, I'm bringing it up here.
Did you have Riptide Replicator too?
Oh, of course not.
Surprisingly not.
No? Onslaught Rare?
Nope.
All right, so let's get to some actual relevant cards.
Yes, or questions.
You don't mind. Well, pertaining to questions, yes. What are your Todd? What's your thoughts on the Hero Precinct 1 in the Mardu deck?
So I haven't actually cast it yet. This is the first time I've gotten to play with the deck. And honestly, it seems pretty exciting. It's taking the place of something like Tithe Taker or some other afterlife creature that would kind of be in that slot. I think that it has a much higher ceiling than any of the afterlife cards, but the floor is a 2-mana 2/2 that dies to a shock on turn 2. So I think on turn 3, it's going to be cast a lot of times alongside a Firefoot Fiend, which I think is a pretty sweet, interaction there and like a good sequence to really be cognizant of. But if your opponent just has to use spot removal on Priest of Forgotten Gods, there's a chance that here Precinct 1 just kind of buries them. I think it's really good in game 1. I think after game 1, a lot of decks are going to have Fiery Cannonade, a lot of decks are going to have Cry of the Carnarium, and those two cards are pretty good against us. So here Precinct 1 gets a lot worse after board, and I would expect that a lot of these strats actually end up siding it out. I don't want to side it out because I haven't seen it in play yet, and I want to see it in play. So.
Yeah, and it could just be powerful enough that you want it anyway. Right. I've been seeing some like Esper lists that play it and have Deputy of Detention and a lot of multicolored cards there.
Oh, you mean this deck we are playing next match that has Tristani?
Do you have Venerate Veloxodon too?
No.
All I want to do is go turn 1 Legion's Landing, turn 2 Hero, turn 3 Flower, play, make a token, play Alexa. That sounds sweet to me.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I like that curve.
Anyway, we got Incubation, Incongruity, Hedon's Climb, Frilled Mystic, Deputy Detention, Hydroid Crassus, Tristani, and all to go with your Precinct 1 and your normal band deck. That's another VTCLA special. Make sure to stick around for that one. We're going to have that one next. I'm going to cheat a little. All right.
You're already up the game, Todd.
Look, my hand is really sweet. I don't want a mulligan. I'm on the draw. I would have gotten there, but we would have had a dead game otherwise. So,
okay.
You know what?
My hand's fine, and I'm on the play. We'll start on an Overgrown Tomb.
As long as you're cheating in the name of better TV.
Right. I mean, do you guys want to see me just keep a hand that I would probably keep in a tournament and then just do nothing and die? Because I do that a lot in tournaments. I do nothing and die. So
it's like tic-tac-toe.
3 in a row.
You know, they choose the guy they want to win. It's better TV.
All right.
Give them all the answers.
So here we actually have a pretty sweet sequence if we are able to draw land. So we'll play this tapped.
That was a good draw. Let's start on Incubation Druid, a card we have not seen much of today, but I think we're going to see the power of it this game.
18 me, and I'm going to play Priest of Forgotten Gods. Your turn.
That's a pretty good card. It would be a shame if something happened to it.
You got moment craving?
Yeah, I'm going to shock and then moment it, staying at 20, and then I'll play another incubation druid.
Pretty good.
That's the turn.
Ross, what's your reaction to learning that Floral Spasm has been errated to an elemental and Spasm is no longer a creature type?
I'm devastated.
Honestly, I didn't know that, but I'm assuming that if someone said that in the chat, they knew that that happened. And congrats.
Utterly devastated. I can't believe they would do that to me.
Anyway, the sequence I want to do was Priest into Hero Firefoot Priest, and then I was going to sack both, make him sacrifice a thing. That would have been cool.
I think I want to start adapting these druids. So I'm going to pay 5 mana to adapt into this one, then make 3 green and play a walker.
Okay.
Pass a turn.
Ross, the Scarab 463 wants to know when you're going to start streaming.
I've ordered the microphone. It is in my apartment. I just need to set things up, but we're getting there. We're very close. I'm going to take 5.
Salty.
15.
Oh, sweet. Blood Crypt tap. Your turn.
Okay, so now
he can adapt this and then play Cry of the Carnarium, and that's real bad for me.
That would be really good if I had it, but I do not. So
Rats.
Instead, I cannot adapt this and do both things that I want to do.
You have 8 mana. Just use your 8 mana in a fun, interesting way. Don't shrink it to 5 mana, you know?
Yeah, I don't think I need to adapt the other one just yet. So what I'm going to do is play Merfolk Branchwalker. We'll start there.
Yikes.
I'm going to leave that one on top.
Yeah, figured.
I'll go to 18.
All right.
18 all. And I will pass the turn.
Yikes. That was a very good draw. All right. I'm going to go to
16.
16. Hey, Midnight Reaper.
That is a good draw.
Play a Pitiless Pontiff.
Get another token from Hero.
And so he has a 3/5 now, so attacking just doesn't really do a whole lot. So I'll just say go.
Midnight Reaper.
Yeah, but I'm not like trading. I guess I could attack with this. Yeah, sure.
No blocks and just contempt the Judith. So I'll gain 2 and take 1. So end up at 19.
Ross, did you forget your counter on Merfolk Branchwalker there?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yep. 19.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Thank you. Okay, so once again, I cannot adapt this and cast the finality. I'm not sure what Todd can do though to punish me just passing the turn.
Yeah, I think passing the turn is fine.
And I think I just adapt this now. So
yeah,
let's just adapt main phase and then pass. It is a little awkward that the druids are 3/5, so Footlight Fiend is going to be able to take one out. But I'm not sure if that's too big of a deal. Oh, were you tapped out this turn? On your
yes,
you have a Pontiff out. Sorry, before Todd untaps with the Pontiff, I should contempt this Reaper.
Tilt.
I go to 21. Sorry,
it's okay.
I was thinking about other things, but that was definitely in line with my plan.
Yeah, one card is just the.
Yep, I have the finality.
This is.
And I'm at 21 from that contempt.
This is a game that I do not think I can win. Ross just. So basically, I can play Alinda. If I do that, there's. He's just going to finality. I lose everything. He gets to keep these 3.
Well, the Footlight Fiend takes out one of these, or takes out one of these.
Yeah.
And
so
then you can
I can also like sack something here. Sack Footlight Fiend actually if I want to. No, that seems bad.
Well, sack something else just to get a counter on this. So then you'd be left with two.
So I can also just say like do nothing, right?
Yeah.
And then just attack with this.
It's just is 2 tokens worth more than the Alendra, and it's probably not.
All right. Attack with pity.
Yeah, I'll take 2. I'll go to 19.
Go.
And Crisis. That's kind of interesting. I could play this first, and then I definitely get to keep a druid. So I'd basically be trading this for a druid. And I think I'd rather have the druid. I want mana. So I'm going to play Jade Light Ranger.
Okay.
2 explorers. I think I'm just digging for Crisis here. Get another land.
Okay.
So maybe I should have...
1 counter here. You gain 6.
Yep. For this land. So I'm at 25. I could have left the druid on top once to guarantee I hit another spell, because then I could put the 2 counters here. But that just forces the Fiend there. I'd rather just take 1 and get 2 counters on something, I think. So, now I guess I'll Finality, and I'll put 2 counters on the Wild Growth Walker.
Okay.
Or cast Finality. Do you have a response?
No.
Good. Once again, you choose when happens. Are you pinging me, or...
Kill one of these?
Oh, yeah, you still get to kill one of those.
Yeah, wait. Firelight Fiend.
No. What was the whole point of this?
I don't know. You just threw away a J-Light Ranger.
Yeah, there was no point in doing it that way. For some reason, I thought this like by making this big enough, so I didn't have to put counters there, it would save these.
What
but
did
I
you
can
leave
only
on top? Or did you draw a land?
I drew a land.
Okay.
We're just doing this afterwards. I'm gonna put the counters on here, and then
Okay, kill one of these.
I don't know what I was thinking. So that's gonna die, and then I'll play this. You know, oh, so now I don't gain life if I do it after.
You're 19.
But you just let me.
Yeah, I just want to see what was on top, but
Okay.
like.
Okay, so
If
we'll
we're
say
in
I
this
did.
scenario, I'm definitely just
think-
killing it.
yeah, I think
you
that's
still have
the-
the Jade Light.
I think that's the right way to do it.
All right, and you found a land,
And I
and
found
what
a
was the
land.
top card?
Sorry, that's confusing. But so now I'm at 19 because you deny me 6 life that way. But I have a Jade Light Ranger.
Okay, what was the top card that you revealed? I don't remember what it was.
I put a card in the graveyard and then drew a land, so I don't know.
Put
the top card.
Incubation Druid in the graveyard.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sure. All right.
Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know why I thought that let me save both druids.
Go.
Because it definitely did not. So now it's 19 to 16, and this is...
If you didn't, I could actually choose between Druid or Wild Growth.
No, because the Walker was 4, so I can make it a 6.
6. Oh, you're right. Yeah, we'll take
6.
6. I'm at
Brings you to 10. Yes.
You're at 19.
Yep. 18 to 11.
Play Gutter Bones.
Enter stepped.
All right, I'm going to play this, sack this one, put a counter on this one, I'll get a 1/1. I think that's how it works. I might get 2, but I don't think I get 2.
No.
Like it doesn't see itself dying because it's a trigger. Okay, I don't even know if that's correct, but that can't be right. I'm not doing that. That's stupid.
You're just going to hold it.
I'm just gonna hold this.
So this is tapped.
Yeah.
You have a card in your hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna take 6.
Fortunately, I have
4.
no idea how state-based action
Attack you for
works.
6. You go to 5.
No, it's a trigger, so it doesn't actually get the trigger until after it's already in the graveyard. So
Land.
all right, go. On this stage, I really need to draw a way to kill that Incubation Druid, but
It's a pretty good draw. Not awesome. So with Todd at 5,
at 4, I think.
I do go.
I had one.
You
From 10 to
gained
4.
1 when you attacked with the Alendra.
I didn't. Oh, I did attack with it. Yeah.
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 You went to 11, now
Yeah.
you're at 5. So the Jade Light, both of these trade with the Gutter Bones, the Jade Light and the Branch Walker, which is awkward. And I don't want to get this Alendra big.
Alinda.
Alenda, not Alendra. I'm thinking Glen Alendra Archmage.
Yeah, I know. I think you just attack with this, but
Alternatively, I could use this and attack with everything. That would then be a 2/2. You could trade here, gain 2. You would end up at 2 and have 2 tokens.
no, that's not how that works. If you attack with everything and
So I have a removal spell. If I use a removal spell on this,
okay.
I have a cast down. So I'm thinking about cast down in the Gutter Bones. That puts a counter on this. Then I attack with everything. You trade with Jade Light now with a 2/2.
Yeah, but this is lifelink, so I go up to 7.
Yeah, so
and I
gain 2
take
cancels
5.
that, so you take 3. So you end up at 2. And
Yeah.
I would have these 2, and you would have 2 tokens.
Yeah, that seems terrible. Just attack with this.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it.
Fair. No,
Think-
that's fair. That's fair. Sorry. All right.
No, I think it's right, because this is hard for you to return.
Right.
I guess actually it's not, right? Like, you just chump, and then you attack for 2.
Mhm.
And it's like, do I trade now? And then you don't get the gutter bones back? And I don't deal... I deal less damage this way, whereas if I do it my way, I use a card in my hand, but deal less damage. So is the card more valuable? I think the damage is pretty valuable.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
Cast down that thing, attack.
All right. Block here. I'll go to.
You go to 2.
2, and I get.
You get 2 spirit token or
No.
oh, they're
Vampires with
lifelink. Oh yeah, they're lifelink vampires. This feels much worse then.
Yeah.
The damage is that. Yeah. We're backing up again. Just back it up.
You
got a gutter bones.
I got a gutter bones.
I'm sorry,
Need
everybody.
a soundboard with one of the truck noises.
All right. I'll block.
I'm not even sure if I attack then.
Jesus Christ.
No, I think I do. Play Memorial. Pass the turn.
That's a good one. All right. Attack. All right. I'll go to 7.
I wonder if I block with Jade Light so I can get that back and dig. I was thinking about just getting another 3/5, but I think I need to dig for something. So let's. Yeah.
Okay. I go to 7.
Yep. You go to 7.
Get 2 vamps.
So you have 7 to 18.
Go.
I wonder if I respond by killing a vampire token.
Maybe. I don't have a lot of good targets for cast down.
That's true. You have Priest, though. Priest would be really good.
Yeah, that's true.
And honestly, like, these just throw away and turn into more vampires from this, so it's not like you're gaining anything by throwing them away, and they can't really attack well. We're just at a standstill, and I'm just going to dig towards something big. That'll be my plan. That's a good draw.
Yikes.
Do I do that now? I think I do. And just set up the Jade Light for next turn. Trophy the Elendra. You get 1 more vampire.
Yep.
And I don't really have a good attack here because Todd can just take 3 and crack back and like get back the gutter bones for value and gain the life back. So I think I just pass. Oh no, I can get back the Jade Light. This makes mana. Man, I am not good at this game.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but
Whew, we're missing some things right now. That first match took a lot out of me. Let's get back to Jade Light.
maybe you shouldn't play this deck this weekend.
Hopefully not hit 2 lands. There's 1 land. There's another.
Yeah.
I
don't think you played a land yet, though.
I haven't, but now that you get a free attack, and that's really awkward. But
I know.
I did get to draw 2 cards, so I guess I can't be too mad. Let's play tapped.
Xander the Greatest says you're remarkably bad at drawing Hydroid Crassus.
Actually, maybe I should just trade off. Like, if I shock and cast down when you attack, then you don't get to get back gutter bones. Yeah, I'll just shock. 16. Give me the option. Like, these things aren't trading for anything good anyway.
I think I gained 2 up to 9. You took
Yes.
2 to shock down to 17.
16. I think you missed 1 at some point.
Maybe. All right.
16, 9.
Mina Reaper, your turn.
That's a reasonable cast down target, but
I know.
attack for 3.
I'm at 6.
Tapped land, you can go.
So you drew a removal spell for Midnight Reaper, I guess? Because I have the Gutter Bones. What the heck?
Yeah, you do. God, I'm not playing well.
I don't know what you're doing. 13. It's like every turn you just forget what your deck does. Like,
Or what your deck does, or things that I knew.
all right. Play a Gutter Bones.
Tapped.
It enters tapped. And then I'll play Firelight Fiend.
Ugh. This is no longer good. Todd has drawn spells, and I haven't. Pass.
So I don't want him to attack next turn, but I also... So He didn't attack last turn because I could just get a block with Firelight Fiend, shoot him, and draw a card.
Yeah.
But if I attack with both, he's just going to take 3 damage to 10. So I think I just attack with Gutter Bones and just keep holding this back.
Take 2.
Yeah, you're at 11. Go.
Crisis.
No.
That's a good one. Give me this.
Yikes.
Cast it. Attack.
All right, I'm at 3.
Play Woodland Cemetery. Go.
Ooh, baby. That was gross. Okay. Your turn. Hostage Taker was considerably better than Ravenous Chupacabra in that spot.
Yes.
Considerably.
Let's mark that one down in the old memory banks.
Okay.
Do I have any good attacks? What do you... So...
I have to chump.
Yeah, like you have to chump, but you get to like build counters on this.
Yeah.
Which is relevant.
Sure.
Like I don't know... What happens if I attack with both?
I'll do this.
And then I get to like... You put 3 counters on this, that's not good.
Yeah.
So that's not a good attack. What happens if I just attack with this, you block with one of those, probably Gutter Bones, and you just get 1 counter on this?
Yep.
But then I like don't really want to put a 3rd counter on it.
Yep.
So this doesn't really lead anywhere.
Yep.
So I think I just play a land of pass.
All right. Go.
Crisis.
Okay.
Go.
Okay. Theater of Horrors. Go.
Now I can attack with 3 3-power creatures and force this to chump all at once.
Yep.
At which point I think this can also get in. Because like this is still a chump, you still have to block 3 things. So I think I just get to attack with everything now. Though I guess this maybe I want to leave. No, I have a blocker back for this, so that's fine.
I mean, this has to chump, right?
Yeah, but you're gonna get a token, and like you might use that relevantly. I guess you have theater to ping me to turn. I was thinking about spectacle.
Go.
Oh, there's a lot of things to think about
here. I guess this is fine. So if I killed this, you just get an extra card off of it. So
yeah,
we'll block here. We'll go to 1 and then up to 2.
Yeah, so you end up at 2.
I'll do 1 to you, and you
puts me to 10, and then I go to 9 from that. So I'm at 9. You're at 2. And I draw another card.
Yeah, I'll get a 1/1.
That's a combo. Wild Growth Walker, Jade Light Ranger.
Yep, I'll shoot you for 1 with Theater Force.
Memorial and Chupacabra. Is Chupacabra good?
You gained 6 here. 14.
Yeah. Oh, it clears away a blocker. We'll leave it there.
All right, Raza at 14.
I thought I was at 9. Oh, you pinged me with that. Okay. So I go to 14. These have 2 counters on them.
Okay.
Playing a little fast here, but I think you're dead. Oh, okay. Not the best played game from my side, but I'm generally impressed that I was able to grind out that game without ever drawing a crisis.
I mean, that's true. The sweeper effects, I think, really showed how good they are in the matchup. In the early turns of the game, I was basically just like, okay, I need to deploy at least one more thing. So he's forced to Wrath, but if I don't play anything, he's just going to keep playing creatures that survive finality. And I think we did learn, though, that Hero Precinct 1 is not what we need to be doing in this particular matchup. So we're going to go back to the drawing board for that.
Also, just a reminder, Todd, the theater exiles things face up.
Okay. Cool deal. All right, so Hero Precinct 1 coming out. Plague Crafter coming in, Midnight Reaper number 3 or 4 coming in, and then I have to choose between Lava Coils and Drill Bits. Ethereal Absolution could be pretty sweet.
Good against Explorer creatures.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it.
I have brought out most of my answers to it.
Yep.
It's not a card I think I would generally be expecting out of a more aggressive deck.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna go long. Try to play the long game. So that means I think I want to cut Firelight Fiend and just like do some Lava Coil type stuff. I think Gutter Bones is good because it just lets me do some really sweet things. But Firefoot Fiend doesn't really kill anything with the trigger, and yeah, it's really synergistic with Hero, and otherwise it is really good against aggressive decks. That is for sure. I think Firefoot Fiend is very strong, very strong card. We're going to do this. We're not going to drill bit, although that is a potential option. I think Ross is going to be playing off the top quite a bit and just digging with explore creatures. So we're going to be doing this and trying out this sideboard strat in this particular matchup. Anyway, questions?
Yes, we had one earlier about drill bit versus duress. And do you think one will replace the other, or is it meta dependent or deck dependent?
It's definitely meta dependent and deck dependent. Drill bit's significantly better than duress when things like Hydroid Crassus are dominating the format, because your opponent's entire game plan is sculpted around getting to the point where they can cast a Crassus for X equals 4 or higher. And drill bit can steal that win from their sails. Same with Carnage Tyrant, same with any big creature that ends up becoming format defining. Drill bit in this matchup, it's not that hard to do damage to your opponent, because your opponent is not really incentivized to block a lot of your creatures, because they have second lives. They do things when they die, and sometimes even if they do block, you still get to turn on the spectacle while also doing some other cool stuff. So I think drill bit in this particular deck is quite good. In like a mono red splashing black for theater 4s and maybe some drill bits in the sideboard, I think drill bit has a slightly higher upside. On the play, you can sometimes snipe a Wild Growth Walker, which I like a lot. So yeah, if you're going to be playing discard out of like a splash of black, I think drill bit is definitely superior.
It's about how much mid range versus how much control there is in the metagame. Duress is going to be better against control decks because it's just consistent and does what you need it to do. But drill bit being able to take Hydroid Crassus, like Todd mentioned, and other powerful creatures, that versatility in the mid range matchups where they're attacking you or defending you, I guess, in different ways, is important. But you are sacrificing consistency for it. So certainly a meta call.
And then next, what are your thoughts on Seraph versus Alinda?
Well, you saw what Alinda did in the first game. It really strangled Ross's ability to block as well. But it's more of a synergy card. Seraph is definitely a more powerful card by itself. And if you expect a lot of things like Vraska's Contempt and Cry of the Carnarium and removal spells to exile, I think going for Seraph is, just about as mediocre as going for Alinda in that spot, right? Because exile just takes away the big effect. So higher upside. Alinda is a very synergy driven card that has a much higher upside than Seraph, but Seraph on a flat scale is just more powerful. But
Alinda was good there, or Alena. I'm not sure how good Seraph would have been. Trying to think back, but yes.
Cliff top, priest, go.
Yes.
Wow. Keep it no greener. 18 theater 4s, attack for 1.
So 18, 19.
Yeah, your turn.
So just a reminder for some of our viewers, if you want to get the deck list, we're using the Cardboard Live extension.
17.
So there should be little things on your screen
On
on either side you can pop out. That'll have the entire deck list for both players. And if it also works on mobile. You just have to find a little puzzle piece, click on that, and it'll allow you to access
Got
the
two
extension.
creatures to play.
What if I told you I had no creatures to play? My deck is a lot different after board now that I cut 8 creatures. So priest is a little bit worse, but at the upside is the later the game goes, the better it becomes if Ross doesn't kill it. Yeah, I'm just gonna put in a theater for us and say go. So we're gonna generate a lot of extra cards here. I'm gonna basically. I don't know if one theater sees both of the cards from the theaters. Do you have Disenchant in your deck at all? Can I just do it like this, or do I need to keep them separate?
I know I have an Assassin's Trophy, but they're not all together. They're definitely under each individual one.
Okay.
And I have a trophy, so you should keep them separate.
Sure.
I was hoping to nab more creatures with this, but I guess that's not what Todd's doing. But I think I need to deal with that priest before he's able to get anything going.
Okay.
And I have other things I want to cast that the Cry is not going to kill. This is now an 0-1, so it's not going to attack.
All right. I'm going to go to 16, Engarth minus on this, and attack you for 1.
That's gross, so 16 all.
Yep.
Well,
and now I can just plus with the Engarth next turn, hopefully, and get Theater 4s online and start casting all the free cards off of it. Yep, we can beat them.
You can go.
All right. So first one here, second one here.
I had a hand that was well suited to beat an aggressive draw, and Todd had a very controlling draw.
Plus on your hand, deal 2 to you. You're at 14.
Yep.
And now I haven't had a land off these theater horrors, unfortunately, so I can't play those right now. So now the question is, do I just take care of his incubation druids to trim his ability to deal with or to play a big Hydroid Crassus, or do I just like get as much value out of these as I can, play like a Linda plus Gutter Bones or something like that? The longer these are around, the less likely it is I get value out of them. So I think we just go. He's more likely to kill this one if he has a disenchant because it has a second Angarth. So I'm going to play these two off of this one. And so go. Keeping the cards separate on Theater 4s is very annoying. I'm just going to say that.
Shock to 12, and then gain 3 of it back. Go to 15. Play a 6/6 and draw 3 cards.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
All right. First one. Second one. Draw. Plus turns on Theater. Discard a card.
Yeah, I'm thinking about which
Okay.
one.
I was just making sure.
I will discard a Wild Growth or Jadelock Ranger.
Okay. Mortify. Land. Judith. I should probably shock and play the other land. Again, I just want, if he targets it, I want to have as few under this
you
as
to
possible.
14.
Yep. And then attack for 5.
I go to 10. You go to 16.
Actually, no, I have to hold. I'm going to hold. I'm not going to attack because if he can attack both at Angarth, and whichever one I don't block, he pumps.
Adapt.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm still at 15. You're at 16.
I'm at 14.
Or 14. Yeah, I already gave you the luck. 15, 14.
I guess I could attack with Belinda. Gain the life. Yeah, we'll just say go. I want to keep this Angarth around. Next turn, I can potentially minus attack. Do some stuff.
One short.
Belinda should also have a counter for killing the Hydroid Crassus.
Yes. Correct.
Yes.
Sorry. Thank
you. Adapt this. Cry.
Okay, that's pretty good. But those are all almost free cards, so
Play Wild Growth Walker.
sure.
Actually, I think I might want to just pitch this to the Angrath next turn. Though Todd might. Decent chance Todd just -3s and attacks me and plays the other one and makes me discard.
Ding ding ding.
In which case I want to have some pressure. So let's play the Wild Growth Walker. Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's go minus on this. I guess I can just use it for mana if I want. Yeah, sorry. Lava Coil this. Attack for 3.
12.
Play this land. Play Angarth. Tick up. Make you discard, and then in a turn sacrifice that. You're
And
at
I
13.
go to 10.
Oh yeah, 10 from the attack. And I play the swamp, so I don't take damage. And your turn. Wow, this is great. This is a real transformational sideboard. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Just makes you want another Angarth and another Theater Horse.
And the problem is here, like I just have a Crisis, but the Angrath
just minuses and
just takes care of it. So I'm just gonna play for 4. So I go to 12.
Yep. Draw 2.
Draw 2. And play a forest and pass.
Draw. All right, minus on it. Let's go hit you for 4, and that's going to turn on these.
I go to 8.
So 3, 6, 8. I didn't even do this turn.
We'll put them on the stack.
Okay, sorry. All right, didn't hit land. So Chapel, I'll play Judith, Priest, and Midnight Reaper. And then EOT, that'll die. I'll shoot for 1 and draw a card. I go with the Judith ability and the Midnight Reaper ability.
Oh, yeah. So I go to 7 and you go to 13.
Right,
that's messed up.
I'm
getting obliterated.
You're just getting hit on all fronts, baby. This deck's sweet.
I don't even know. Yeah, but it doesn't do anything. I just go to 4, you go to 10, and draw 3 more cards.
Yeah.
And you just plus this up at 2.
Yeah. Sure does that. I'm having a good
This
time.
would have been a lot easier game to win had I just had green mana early and just been ramping. But I missing green mana ended up really punishing me.
I had this forever. I would just kill.
I had a bunch of things to do. But I kept it without green mana because I'd cry, and I figured, cry will hold them off and that'll be fine. Yeah. But the cry was just really bad against your draw. Mm-hmm. So I just got very, very punished. I think the only thing I can do is try to set up a board of my own, but you have Priest now.
Yeah. So
I'm just dead. There's nothing I do is going to do anything relevant. Todd has way too many cards.
Todd, Scooter wants to know if you should start getting reps in with this deck.
Maybe. It seemed really cool. I'm not 100% sold on the Hero Precinct 1 for sure, but it did look pretty good in game 2 as far as it worked, right? It did the thing that I wanted it to do, but after game 1, Ross was just really set up with a bunch of sweepers, so the tokens not triggering Midnight Reaper or Judith really took the wind out of them. So I don't know. I think it's definitely sweet. So if you want to build it and have some fun, feel free. But Scooter, if you're not, I know Scooter's not going to the Open this weekend, so just wait for the Open. We'll see what decks come to the top.
That was an impressive display.
Theater of Horrors messed up.
Yeah. That was the first time I think I've seen Theater of Horrors be significantly better than Experimental Frenzy. We saw the power of Angrath, which we talked about for the status red deck. It was incredibly good, and saw all the cards came together. The fact that you were able to make Cry a bad card in game 3 was really impressive. I think maybe I have Contempts for Angrath, but it's hard to leave in removal for Theater of Horrors if they have that one too.
Yeah. I mean, I only have 2, and I drew both of them, and I played 1 on 3 and 1 on 4, and it was very good. And but I think that's, it's just another Experimental Frenzy. It's just another one of those types of cards that you have to have an answer for. If it's cast early enough, you have to have an answer for it, or it's going to run away with the game. It draws an extra card every single turn. And even though you played a Crassus for 4, or 8 or whatever, and drew 4 cards, you played a Crassus for 4, drew 2 cards, and
you were just drawing 2 cards every single turn,
right? And I was able to check them with Mortify, Angarth, and it was just too much.
It was like the remember Mono Black Devotion versus the Esper or Azorius control decks. Yeah. You could outpace Revelation with 2 Underworld connections.
Right.
You would just draw so many cards and then gain back life with Gray Merchants.
And a lot of times you would be hitting them with a Thoughtseize or Duress or whatever, and they would have to Revelation in response, or else they would lose it. But then you just take their Elspeth,
take their best spell or their next Revelation and just outpace the first one. And so that's what that felt like. It felt like I was playing Revelation with Crisis, and you were Underworld connectioning with Theater of Horrors, and you just outpaced me.
Yeah.
And it was that was the most impressive I've seen an Aristocrats deck look. And
yeah, I mean, game 1 we did the full blown Aristocrats thing, right? We got to use Priest of the Forgotten Gods. We got to just kind of combo kill you with Judith through block. Even if you ever blocked, you were losing everything or also dying. It was a pinch.
You had a good aggressive start and were able to use the sacrifice energies to put me away. And then in game 3, you were able to just play the long game. So you did everything. You did the combo aspect, you did the aggro aspect, you did the control aspect.
Yep.
And when you get a deck that can play that many different styles and do them well, it's dangerous.
Yeah, I agree. So, a very well built Aristocrats deck. So if you're into this type of deck, definitely pick it up. Give it a shot on Magic Arena or Magic Online and see how it goes, because it looks pretty sweet. I love the sideboard plan. I love the ability to transform. Maybe one another Angarth go up to 3. Maybe one other Theater of Horrors go up to 3, just so you can more reliably hit that early instead of trying to instead of having to deploy creatures to get swept up with Cryocarnarium or Cannonade or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be able to board out the cards that are like actively really bad in those matchups. And
Mhm.
you have this priest that isn't that great, but people are still going to kill it on sight because it's a scary card, and it's still great with gutter bones. So like, the upside is still there. So yeah, no, this was the deck that I expected to perform the least well out of all three, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
We are running a little
Overtime.
late on time,
Yeah.
so we're going to take our break now. Try to take some questions in the middle of the third match, but we got one more coming up. I'm going to still be playing my Sultai deck. We're 1-1 so far.
And we got this sweet Bant mid-range deck. It's another Hero Precinct 1 strategy. I use Hero Precinct 1 alongside the multicolor cards from the new set, like Incubation, Incongruity, Adonis Climb. But it also has Frilled Mystic, Deputy of Attention, and Hydroid Crassus. It is an Incubation Druid as well. It's kind of like playing that midway point between aggressive and control-y. And it has ramp effects that I really like, but you're going to see Hero Precinct 1 basically play the role of either hyper-aggressive card against a control strat or a way to prevent you from getting overrun by an opposing aggressive deck. It plays defense and offense very well. In this matchup, you're going to be playing, obviously, the same Sultai deck, so it's not going to be as good, but Hero Precinct 1 is very good against either control or aggro, and not really good against mid-range decks, because the 1/1s just get kind of outclassed pretty easily.
Yep. Okay. So we're going to take 10 minutes. And
actually, we can take a little shorter break, about 5 minutes if you guys
5
are
minutes?
fine with that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll be back in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere.